Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wow, nice audience. So, my name is Azza Salah. I am a gold digger, not gold, but a gold digger. And today I'm here to share with you the story of how I got my personal MBA. So when I was young, my mom used to ask me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I always used to say, I want to be a presenter. I want to be the best presenter in the world. And then I started to watch Oprah and get influenced by Oprah. And I started to see all of these amazing presenters all over the world. And I kept telling myself, I'm going to be the best presenter in the world. And I lived my life trying my best to work every single day to present in my school activities, to go outside of the school activities as well, just for me to present and stand in front of people. By the age of 16, I was talented young girl, so I used to do like some theater shows and theater stuff. So someone from the government, from the Ministry of Culture, saw me one day, and he said, do you want to work with us? And I was like, I'm only 16, how can I work with you? And they're like, you have a very nice voice, we can use it in our records. I was like, fine, let's do that. So I went there and I started to record. After 1 hour, I get paid 1,000 riyal. And I was like, wow, what is that? So lesson number 1, independency. I didn't know what becoming an independent woman by the age of 16 means. I didn't know what independency means. So when I got paid, I went back to school and I told all my friends, today, all your breakfast is on me. It felt so good. And it felt even better when my dad wanted to give me my 2 riyal for the day. I was like, thank you, I have money. So it was really nice. Independency felt good. And I was waiting for the second call. When are they calling me again? Because my money ran out. And then they called me again, and the 3rd time, and the 4th time. And I started going every time and get my 1,000 riyal and put it in my pocket. And then one day, they told me, Azza, do you want to be an organizer in one of our events? I was like, amazing. And back in my head, I used to say, like, how much are they going to pay me? So I was an organizer and I got paid 4,000 riyal. Back then, by the way, it's a lot of money. So I was like, 4,000 riyal for just being an organizer, it feels so good. And then I was standing in one of the shows, I was organizer only, telling people where to go and where to sit. I saw someone in the middle of the stage, prior the day of the event, telling everyone what to do. He was telling the person who are doing the provas and the rehearsals, like, you be there. The light, I need them to be yellow. I need you to move here. I need to move there. So I asked my friend, who's that? And she told me, that's the director. And I was like, I want to be a director. I'm not bossy, but it feels so good to have power. So I started to observe what he does. Lesson number 2, be a good listener and be a good observer. So I started to observe him. After, let's say, 3 months of observation, and I realized what he does, and I kept like going home and trying to understand what's directing me. So, and then one time he did something in the theater, and he told people like, I want you to move here and move the chairs over there. So I stood up and I went to him, lesson number 3, be an initiator in life. So I went to tell him, excuse me, what do you think if we move this chair over here? I think it would have been great because the people in the back will be able to see more. And he's like, who are you? And I was like, no, I'm just an organizer. And he's like, yeah, it makes sense. So one observation, one note over there, telling him, yeah, this is great, let's do that. He's like, he started, whenever he does anything, he tells me, Azza, what do you think? And I was like, it feels good. I think this is nice and this is good. By the age of 19, I became an assistant director. And I started to represent Qatar inside of Doha and outside of Doha. And I had my first bank account before I even reached the age of 18, and I was getting paid really well. So it felt so good. Since the age of 16 till I graduated from university until today, I am paying all my things by myself, and I never ask my dad for anything. So independency feels good. So I started working, and I never forget my dream. I've always wanted to become a presenter. So when I went to university, my dad told me, because I'm a science major, a science stream a graduate from high school, he told me, go and study science and go and study pharmacy or go study any of these majors or become an engineer. And I was like, no, I want media. And he told me, don't study media. Media will never pay your bills. I told him, but I'm already covering my bills. But he's like, no, Azza, go and study engineering. The next lesson is follow your passion. So I told him, no, I'm gonna study media. So I went to university, and I went and I followed my passion, and I graduated from the university on the Dean's List, having the leadership award in Qatar University, and as well becoming one of the, let's say, the great alumni that the university is always like proud to have. It felt so good. The success journey is always amazing. So when I graduated, I already received my job offer to work at Qatar TV as a presenter, which is my dream. But something in my head told me, Azza, just wait a minute. Maybe this is not what you want. We live our whole life thinking that we know what we want. Or some of us live their own life thinking about, I don't know what I'm going to do after graduation. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. I still don't know life yet. So when I graduated, I thought I've always wanted to become a presenter. But the day I graduated, I felt like this is not what I want to do. I feel like I'm more than just a presenter. So I quit my first job, which stayed with me for maybe 10 years, the Ministry of Sport and Culture. And I told them, I want to go for a new experience. And I went for my second job, and then I resigned. I went for my third job, and I resigned. And I was like, what's wrong with me? If I was successful during university studies, if I was successful prior joining the working field, what's wrong with me? Why I always keep quitting? Why I always keep resigning? I didn't know the lesson that I didn't know that I was called an entrepreneur. I didn't know what entrepreneurship means. So there's a specific habit that if you found it in yourself, then realize that you have an entrepreneurial mindset. But I didn't know that. So back then, when I used to work at the airline, Qatar Airways, after my second year working at the airline, I had a dream. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. But for me, my dream became my reality. Actually, I had a dream on a Saturday night, and I woke up, and I started to write my dream. My dream told me that you have something called sky climbers. It's not that something I studied. It's not that something that I brainstormed for. It's not something that I went and Googled it. It's just something I dreamt about. So I woke up, and I felt the eager that I want to do this thing. It's called Sky Climber, and it's gathered all the talents in Qatar, and it's the best place in Doha. So I woke up, and I went to my sister, Sarah. I was like, Sarah, I have a dream. I think I'm going to open something called Sky Climber, and it's going to be the best in Qatar. I didn't know what to call it back then, a company, an organization, an NOG, I didn't know. And she told me, yes, you can do it. Follow your passion, follow your dreams. This is the next lesson. Be always with a good environment. So the second person that I told my dream was my best friend. So I called and I was like, I have a dream, and I think I'm gonna have something called Sky Climber, and it's gonna be the best in Qatar. And she's like, Ruhi nami, go sleep, Azza, let's get to the Pearl, let's go to the mall, let's go to the restaurant, let's travel. And I was like, no, I think I wanna do that. And she's like, you can't do it, ya ammi. There is a lot of obstacles in the world. Where are you going to start from? What is it, Aslan? What do you do? And that was the last phone call that I had with my best friend. A friend who goes out with you and play with you and go to the movies and speak about others on their back, but never stand with you when you have your ambitions and your dreams, that's not a friend, and that's not a real friend. Take success seriously in life in order for success to take you seriously. That was my last phone call. After I had that dream, 1 year, of course I quitted my job, I resigned. And my dad told me, Azza, what are you doing with your life? What are these things that you're doing? Why you always keep resigning? And I was like, I don't know yet. I'm still searching. All of us, we live our life thinking that after graduation, everything will be clear. Life will be easy. Life is not easy. Life is a journey. Life is an adventurous. It's a place that we will always keep learning from, and it's a place where we always keep searching and looking. So I told my dad, I don't know what I'm doing. All what I know is I'm following my passion, my dream. So when I went to kick off this sky climber thing, I opened a social media account and I told everyone in Doha, if you have a talent, join me. And of course, I'm a media graduate. I know how to put my posters. It was really nice. It gets a lot of likes. So people started to join me and they started to register with their talents. And then I was like, how can I get all of these people in one place? So I went to a restaurant next to our house and I told the restaurant manager, can you give me a table with 10 chairs only? And I'm gonna be putting a post that you are one of our sponsors. And he's like, it's okay, I can give you 10 seats. That day, the whole restaurant closed because everyone showed up. It was a huge number of people. I was happy and I was sad at the same time. I was happy because my dream is a reality now. I can see it. I can see it in front of me. But I was sad because I didn't know what to do with all of these people. It's like someone who can whistle and someone who plays football and someone who I don't know, wants to do what. I didn't know what to do with these people. So I took a step back and I said, what is this? Azza, where are you going? I went to my dad's friend and I told him I had this idea and I got all of these people around me. And he's like, Azza, make it a company. He's a businessman. And I was like, what company? And he's like, make it a company. I'm going to make it easier for you. I'm going to send you mandoob, someone to do all your paperwork. Just make it a company. And I was like, okay, let's make it a company. And I went to my dad and I was like, Dad, I'm going to have a company. And he's like, Azza, what are you doing with your life? I was like, I don't know yet, but I'm just going to have a company in order for me to run it, in order for me to have a place, in order for me to do things. And I wasn't that wealthy. I didn't have money to start up a company. But my dad's friend, he's like, I'm going to do all the paperwork. He didn't tell me that I need a capital. He didn't tell me that there is something called CR, commercial registration. He didn't tell me that the word is so ugly. He just made it so clear, so beautiful. It's like, just make a company. So I went and I gave him my paper, my ID, and my stuff, and they opened the company for me. And I was so happy. So I said, okay, if it's a company, that means I need to study MBA. So I went back to my university and I told them, can I study MBA? And I applied to have my MBA degree, and they rejected me. They told me, you have to have at least 2 years of experience after the graduation date. And I'm just 1 year. I spent it only 1 year after the graduation. So I was like, what is this? Is this the end? Who's going to teach me now? So I started to study online from Harvard Business School. No degrees, no nothing. I started to study, and I started to go to the Ministry of Commercial here in Qatar, and I started to ask, what is it required to open a company? Why do we open companies? What does company mean? And I started to educate myself. 3rd of March 2016, Sky Climber launched for the first time, my first company. And in May 2017, we got awarded with the Best Business Project Award in Qatar for the year of 2017. And also we have a Guinness World Record as having the longest selfie stick to be taken in a graduation event indoor. It was that long, it was very long. And the student took the picture in QNCC. It was very nice. I loved the journey. So after that, people started to come and they're like, we want you to speak about your entrepreneurship journey. I was like, what's entrepreneurship means? I was so busy working and achieving, I didn't realize I was an entrepreneur. So then I started to read about entrepreneurship. Okay, so someone who opens a business called an entrepreneur, how is that? Does that mean my dad's friend is an entrepreneur? And then I started to know the difference. Entrepreneur, someone who always finds a new idea, something that's new, something that's dangerous, someone never ever did before, and they start up and they kick off this business and they have it as their own. So I fell in love with entrepreneurship, and I started to educate people about entrepreneurship. After a Sky Climber, I have now 3 companies, and we're opening the 4th soon, inshallah. I've been called and I've been receiving job offers from a lot of different places, and I accepted the job offer that I got from Qatar University, which is section head of institutional planning in the strategy department. And guess what? One of the colleges that I do the strategic planning with is the business college. Ironically, it feels so good. It feels so good to achieve your goals in life. So the lesson I want to tell you here is, life is not easy. Maybe you will spend 10 years of your life trying to search like who you are. What do you want to do with your life? The goal and the most important thing that you always have to keep in your mind, try to find your passion. Try to find the thing that you love the most and go for it. Stop hearing people who tells you like, this is difficult, this is you can't achieve that, and start just dig deeper in order for you to reach to your goals and to achieve all the things that you want in your life. And believe me, I don't follow the rules. I never follow the rules, because life for me, if I am a person and God gave me this brain in order for me to think, I will follow whatever procedures is required for me, but the way I'm going to do it, it depends on the way I think, on the way I believe. The people who did this amazing live stream for us and told us these are the things you need to follow, there were back then people who were searching and they were like seeking life solutions and seeking answers for life. That could be you. Live your life as someone you want to have an impact. You don't want to just live your life as a follower. Live your life as a leader, someone with dreams, someone with ambitions. It's okay if you don't know your future yet. It's okay if you don't know who you are today. It's okay if you are still searching for the thing that you love the most. In order for you to know what you want, you always have to have experiences. Never stay at home. Do amazing things like what you are doing today. Listen to people, listen to other experiences. Be a good observer, and always know that in order for you to have success in life, you always have to go through the bad experiences and the very difficult experiences. But believe me, the feeling that you will get after you reach every single goal of your life, it feels so good. I am Azza Salah. I am goal digger, and this is my story and my journey, how I got my personal MBA. Thank you.